In the United Kingdom, over 60% of 18 to 34-year-olds say that they often feel lonely. In the United States, more than 46% of the entire population feels lonely regularly. That's just over 151.5 million people who feel, have felt, or will feel some form of loneliness in their lives. But today, I want to talk to you about why it's okay to feel lonely but never alone. So let's go right here on Are You Willing to Hear? Many people do not know that loneliness is actually a bodily function. It's a bodily function that makes you pay attention to your social and emotional needs. Just as hunger causes you to eat, loneliness causes you to recognize the need to be connected to someone or something outside of yourself. Loneliness is not about the people you are around. It's not about the number of friends or associates you have, because you can be around an entire group of people and still feel all by yourself. But the good news is that no matter the source of your loneliness, be it a relationship breakup or the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, or simply an internal complication that has sprung up this feeling of separation on the inside of you, though you may feel lonely, I stopped by to tell you today that you do not ever have to feel alone again. The good news is we have a God who loves us so much that he sent his only son down just so he could be in relation with each of us, both individually and collectively as a group. And yes, there are times when we feel lonely in this life, but if we are in relationship with the Father through the Son, we never have to be alone again. The Bible speaks of Abram in this way. It says, "Now the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great. And you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him. Some of us struggle with the difference between loneliness and God-ordained isolation. God-ordained isolation may cause you to feel lonely, but it is much more than a feeling or a bodily response. It is a chrysalis, a turning point to bring greatness out of you and to elevate you to the place you ought to be. God uses isolation for your preparation. God told Abraham to get out of his country, to get away from his family, and to get away from his father's house. At times, God uses periods of isolation to bring us to the understanding that we need to be totally dependent on him. When family members and friends and loved ones are present in our lives, it can often bring the focus off of God and onto them. So God, in his infinite wisdom, will call us to a place in him where we can only wholly lean and depend on him. You're just in a place of preparation, even though it feels like isolation. God will at times send us to uncharted territories, all by ourselves, just to show that we trust him undeniably. The word tells us in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not to our own understanding. In all our ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. And part of God's preparation for you is to get you by yourself so that when you hear him, you can move without interruption, without any doubt, without any naysayers, without any obstructions, so that when you finally get to the place that God has for you, you will make no mistake about the sound of his voice. You're just in a place of preparation, even though it may feel like isolation. Not only does God use isolation for your preparation, but God uses isolation to spur you to your destination. Oftentimes, when you are bogged down with other folks, you find yourself so concerned with them and their lack and their needs and their troubles and their issues that it becomes hard for you to reach your own destination in God. So God will isolate you from folks who should be working on getting to their own destination. But because they are so concerned with you or so concerned about your business, they miss out on what God has for them. And beloved, if you are not careful, you will miss out on what God has for you, fooling with other people. In verse 4 of the text that we read about Abram, even though God told him to come alone, Abram brought Lot along with him. And Lot's people and Abram's folks really didn't get along. Abram finally had to separate from Lot to reach his destination. Remember, Abram had no idea where he was going. But he said to Lot, look, you choose a way, I'll choose a way, and we'll separate from here. He allowed Lot to choose which direction he wanted to go. He went the opposite direction, but he still ended up in the place of promise. That is because when it's your time, it's your time. Beloved, your God-sanctioned isolation will carry you to exactly the right place that God wants you to be in due time and in due season. You shall have whatever it is that God has for you. Lastly, God uses isolation to hold you until you reach the next delegation. Yeah, Abram is told by God that he will bless those who bless him and that he will curse those who curse him. And in him, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. That means that Abram, along this journey of trusting the Lord, is going to meet some folks along the way who are literally going to bless him and who are literally going to curse him. But the good news for Abram and the good news for you is that man cannot curse what the Lord has blessed. Those who bless Abram end up being blessed as a result of their relation with him. And God tells Abram that, look, those who bless you, I'm going to bless them. Listen, God will send folks along the journey that will absolutely be blessed as a result of their relationship with you. And the good news of God given isolation is that you may be isolated from some folks, but you are never isolated from God. He's with you in the fire. He's with you in the flood. He's with you in the midst of your circumstance. He's with you in the midst of your situation. He is sure to be with you when you need him. The Lord is with you. You need not be afraid. So it's okay to feel lonely from time to time. But don't you dare feel alone, because God is with you. If you've enjoyed Lonely But Never Alone, I'm certain you will enjoy our other content. Make sure you like this post, browse and subscribe to our page, and hit the bell for notifications from us regarding our new content. Thank you for joining us, and remain willing to hear.